here. Get rolling on this. We are on our last page of this book. So, I guess that's kind of exciting. I think that's probably a good spot right there. Good morning. Just getting set up. I might need to run up to the art supply shop. This is all I've got left for my little orange pencil there. And I feel like that's getting to be a little short for my comfort. Right? A little short. At least I have an extender on it, right? Alright, so we got a bunch of Hulkosauruses to sketch on this other page. Alright, I think we can fit in this guy. Maybe up here. I'll just go behind that one a little bit. I might probably just go to the next page since I'm down to my last couple of pages anyway. Maybe I'll do that. Just start my fresh page. Let's see, so that, bring that. Actually, I think I need this one. There we go. There we go. So I forgot to hit the other button here. Got like a leg there. My guess is if I stick to my little hour plan, then my guess is it'll take today and tomorrow, and then be done with this book. Good morning. Bright and early today. We are on the last page of this book, so of Science of Creature Design. Looks like Greek to me. So, yeah, I've been thinking, I think what I'm going to do, instead of using a book, I think I'm going to take a little bit and sketch from some reference, expressions, expressive poses, that kind of thing. So I think that'll help me move my project forward. Right? There's one. Should all these drawings a little bit larger too. Which was kind of interesting. Oh yeah? I'm sure it'd be more interesting for more people than sketching from this book, but like I said, I've been doing this for me. I just figured I would do it while I was, do it on here while I'm at it. I don't know, dinosaurs are cool though, I think, too. At that phase, huh? There's one down. Let's scoot that over. Oh yeah. There's a lot of expressions to practice from online. Like paid things or free things. There's lots of options for that. Start with these 4. I woke up early this morning. It's one of those, you wake up at 4:30 and then you can't go back to sleep. So it means I got on here a little bit earlier. Got the dog out for a little bit of a longer walk since it was upper 30s, so like, I don't know, 3 or 4 degrees, I guess. So it wasn't too cold. I'm about to get a big cold snap coming in the East Coast over the next couple of days. I think starting tomorrow, maybe Monday for sure. Actually, today I might go out and try and see if I can't figure out what's going on with this diesel heater in my truck. It'd be nice to, once it kind of, the next few weeks, start getting back out to regular painting out there. And start some of that stuff going too. See, that's there. Foot comes forward. That's toe. And that is a football for some reason. I always appreciate that dinosaurs are very happy. They always get like a big smile on their face. Yeah, so I think we'll ink these four first. Alright, let's shift that back over here. Since I'm right-handed, it's a good idea to start on the left so I don't, smear the ink too much. Oh, we'll see. Yeah, I'm usually doing other sketching when I'm on location too. I'm just drawing in my at night, especially working on in my sketchbook or on my iPad. Good morning. Oh yeah? Good morning, everybody popping in. Well, they're designed to do different things, right? So real gouache, is water soluble and remains so it blends differently. A lot of it has to do with like different acrylic and gouache has to do with how you're handling it. Because obviously people do really incredible things with acrylic paint, but you have to be able to plan ahead because it does dry, which is what people like about it, is it dries very quickly. So you can paint on top of it and finish an image relatively quickly. Yeah, again, it has to do with how it works. So kind of understanding the process for how it works. I don't, like generally working with acrylic. I can, but it's not one that I like as much as say a gouache or an oil or even a watercolor. Um, yeah, it just depends on what you want. But yes, a lot of it has to do with acrylic. Just is the specific process you're kind of following through with it. Not that you can't do variations and things like that, but generally there's like a way of working with it that makes it a lot easier. Like you can treat it like tempera, so cross hatching tones and things like that. But it's almost more like a drawing process. So yeah, but yeah, the general complaint, but it's like people who complain about oil, they'll say, oh, it just takes too long to dry, right? So usually it's that the thing that makes it distinctive is usually what people complain about. Um, so it's like people complain about gouache because when you get it wet again, it can have it can move around. Or acrylic, they don't like it because once you make it, that's all you've got. You got to deal with that. Or oil, it takes too long. It's people usually complain about the thing that a medium is kind of built to do. It's like people wanted oils to dry slow so they could carefully work edges. So they preferred that over, and you could, the smoother kind of transitions you could do with it. And they preferred that over tempera, painting with egg tempera, because the tempera, it dried really, really fast, and it was harder to kind of manipulate certain edges and things like that. So they shifted over mostly to oil. Though there was kind of a transition where they would do the underpainting in ink and maybe tempera to a certain degree, and use that as the ground for the oil painting. Some people try to use acrylic as an underpainting for oil. I don't know if that's a good idea. So I know, like, at least the original acrylic paints, they can fall apart. Like, I don't know about how the current ones compare to the original ones, but it's a less permanent medium. So that's the one thing. So like they're seeing that in the museums and that, trying to preserve older acrylic paintings, because acrylic's a brand new medium. It's from from the last century. So relative to other mediums. Well, the watercolor's only main problem is exposure to light. Um, because of it can happen to any kind of painting. Overexposure can burn out the pigments that are in there. Can change their chemical composition by exposure to photons. But a watercolor and gouache actually are very susceptible to light exposure. Oil paint less so, but you don't want to put your oil paintings in direct sunlight because it can burn out the. It's like you see like on an old poster or something like that. Its chemical composition gets changed, and that's why they turn blue and then fade off completely. Um, Yeah, well, watercolor you can put them behind certain kinds of glass that can help. So there's anti kind of UV glass. But if you go to a museum and you look at their watercolors, usually they're in a dark room, and the room kind of or a very dim room, and it might light up. If you walk in, it might not too, depending on what's going on. But it has to do with largely with the medium, the gum arabic that's in it, and it's very fragile, and I forget what plant that comes from, but yeah, but watercolors are especially susceptible to light damage. So yeah, it's you know you have to be careful. Sometimes you got to be careful with even people that are doing the maintenance because they might change something. It's like there's people that restorers. You'll see them in museums or churches and things whose job it is to repair older paintings, revarnish them or touch up paint that's got damaged before. And it's a lot of research to kind of figure out what they should do because it's not always obvious. I know, like a lot of people were offended when they cleaned the Sistine Chapel ceiling and a lot of people didn't like the change in the color. Though the new color actually is probably more accurate. Because one way of looking at it is, um, so it was all kind of brown and old mastery looking before, and now it's kind of all brightly colored. And some people thought that maybe they like removed too much or changed the original intent of the paintings. But if you kind of look at the Vatican Guard uniforms, they're very brightly colored, and they were designed by Michelangelo himself, so he didn't have a problem with like bright colors. We just tend to associate old masters, old paintings with brown, but largely because of the damage caused by candle smoke. So, I mean, there are, they did use a lot of earth tones and things in their paintings, but usually they were working really hard to use those in ways that made them feel more vibrant. So I think what we're seeing on the Sistine Chapel now is probably more accurate to what was true originally. I think, but I'm not a conservator or a historian professionally at all, but so but a lot of people complained when they did that back in, was it the early 2000s, something like that, late 90s. It was a multi-year process, because they were trying to be really, really careful, obviously. And it's considered one of the great art treasures of the world. Yeah. But yeah, so that was interesting, with the color, the fading of paint, right? So in that case, the it was the candle smoke that was the issue at hand. And that's true of a lot of older paintings. You'll see that they need to be cleaned from those influences, the pollution and the smoke that get into them. Have a good one. How are we doing for time here anyway? 50? Sure, that might be good. Just thinking about finishing off this very last page of this book, but I think I'll do one more drawing. And that'll take me to 1 hour, and that's just about half of the drawings on the page, so we should be able to finish tomorrow morning. Good morning, people popping in. Maybe we'll do 2. She got an extra leg on this one, just to see what would happen, I guess. Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard. It's getting my day rolling along, right? I guess that wasn't being broadcast. There we go. There we go. That belongs up there. Sorry about that. Should have moved that. Hello up there. Oh, it looks like we got ourselves a bot. Goodbye, bot. Hate those when they pop into the streams. It's visible on the other ones, but so I'm multi-streaming. But once in a while, I see to pop and say, "Hey, you want a bunch of fake followers that don't mean anything? Pay us some money and join our Discord." It's like, yeah, no, thank you. Don't need any of that. Nobody pays you? Well, you know, I pay you, right? Isn't that how this works? I send you a check to come in and watch. Yeah, I'm gonna finish these two and then call it a day on this. There you go. Something, right? Good morning, everybody popping in. Just touching up this, inking up this last one, and then I'll be done with the morning study. All right. Let's see, today is the 18th. It is 25/01/18. So, yeah, thanks everybody that came in. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to y'all next time.